Chapter 7. First Sight and Second Thoughts. Glint, glisten, glimmer, gleam. Tiffany thought a lot about words in the long hours of churning butter. Onomatopoeic, she'd discovered in the dictionary, meant words that sounded like the noise of the thing they were describing, like cuckoo. But she thought there should be a word meaning a word that sounds like the noise a thing would make if that thing made a noise, even though actually it doesn't, but would if it did. Glint, for example. If light made a noise as it reflected off a distant window, it'd go glint. And the light of tinsel, all those little glints chiming together, would make a noise like glitter glitter. Gleam was a clean, smooth noise from a surface that intended to shine all day, and glisten was the soft, almost greasy sound of something rich and oily. The little cave contained all of these at once. There was only one candle, which smelled of sheep fat, but gold plates and cups gleamed, glistened, glinted, and glittered the lights back and forth until the one little flame filled the air with a light that even smelled expensive. The gold surrounded the bed of the Kelda, who was sitting up against a pile of pillows. She was much, much fatter than the male pixies. She looked as if she'd been made of round balls of slightly squashy dough, and was the colour of chestnuts. Her eyes were closed as Tiffany slid in, but they flicked open the moment she'd stopped pulling herself forward. They were the sharpest eyes she'd ever seen, much sharper even than Miss Tick's. "So, you'll be Sarah Aiken's wee girl," said the Kelda. "Yes, I," said Tiffany. It wasn't very comfortable lying on her stomach. "And you're the Kelda." Yes, said the Kelda, and the round face became a mass of lines as the Kelda smiled. "What was your name now?" "Tiffany, Kelda." Theon had turned up from some other part of the cave and was sitting down on a stool by the bed, watching Tiffany intently with a disapproving expression. "A good name. In our tongue you'd be Tiffa Theon, land under wave," said the Kelda. It sounded like Tiffin. "I don't think anyone meant to name." "Ach, what people mean to do and what is done are two different things," said the Kelda. Her little eyes shone. "Your wee brother is safe, child. You could say he's safer where he is now than he has ever been. No mortal ills can touch him. The Queen would nae harm a hair of his head, and there's the evil of it. Help me up here, girl." Theon leaped up immediately and helped the Kelda struggle up higher amongst her cushions. "Where was I?" the Kelda continued. "Ah, the wee laddie. Ye could say he bides well where he is, in the Queen's own country. But I dare say there's a mother grieving." "And his father too," said Tiffany. "And his wee sister?" said the Kelda. Tiffany felt the words. Yes, of course, dropped automatically onto her tongue. She also knew that it would be very stupid to let them go any further. The little old woman's dark eyes were seeing right into her head. "Aye, you're a born hag right enough," said the Kelda, holding her gaze. "You've got that little bitty bit inside of you that holds on right. The bitty bit that watches the rest of ye. 'Tis the first sight and second thoughts ye have, and 'tis a wee gift and a big curse to ye. You see and hear what others canna. The world opens up its secrets to ye, but ye always like the person at the party with the wee drink in the corner who canna join in. There's a little bitty bit inside ye that will nae melt and flow. Ye're Sarah Aiken's line right enough. The lad's fetched the right one." Tiffany didn't know what to say to that, so she didn't say anything. The Kelda watched her, eyes twinkling, until Tiffany felt awkward. "Why would the Queen take my brother?" she asked eventually. "And why is she after me?" "You think she is?" "Well, yes, actually. Jenny might have been a coincidence, but the horsemen and the Grimhounds and taking Wentworth?" "She's bending her mind to ye," said the Kelda. "When she does, something of her world passes into this one. Maybe she just wants to test you." "Test me?" to see how good you are. Ye're the hag, no? The witch that guards the edges and the gateways. So was your granny, although she wouldn't ever call herself one. And so was I until noo, and I'll pass the duty to ye. She'll have to get past ye if she wants this land. Ye have the first sight and second thoughts, just like your granny. That's rare in a big job. Don't you mean second sight? Tiffany queried. Like people who can see ghosts and stuff? Ach, no, that's typical big job thinking. First sight is when you see what's really there, not what your head tells you ought to be there. Ye saw Ginny, ye saw the horsemen, ye saw them all as real thingies. Second sight is dull sight. It's seeing only what you expect to see. Most big jobs have that. Listen to me, because I'm fading noo, and there's a lot you dinna ken. You think this is the only world. That is a good thought for sheep and mortals who dinna open their eyes, because in truth there are more worlds than stars in the sky. Understand? They are everywhere, big and small, close as your skin. They are everywhere. Some you can see, and some you canny, but there are doors, Tiffin. They might be a hill, or a tree, or a stone, or a turn in the road, or they might e'en be a thought in your head. But they are there, all around ye. You'll have to learn to see 'em, because you walk amongst them and dinna know it. And some of them is poisonous. The Kelda stared at Tiffany for a moment, and then continued, Ye asked why the Queen should take your boy. The Queen likes children. She has none of her own. She dotes on them. She'll give the wee boy everything he wants to do. Only what he wants. He only wants sweets, said Tiffany. Is that so? And did you give them to him? Said the Kelda, as if she was looking into Tiffany's mind. But what he needs is love and care and teaching, and people say no to him sometimes, and things of that nature. He needs to be growed up strong. He will only get that fra the Queen. He'll get sweeties forever. Tiffany wished the Kelda would stop looking at her like that. But I see he has a sister willing to take any pains to bring him back, said the little old woman, taking her eyes away from Tiffany. What a lucky wee boy he is, to be so fortunate. You ken how to be strong, do ye? Yes, I think so. Good. Do you ken how to be weak? Can ye bow to the gale? Can ye bend to the storm? The Kelda smiled again. Nay, ye needna answer that. The wee birdie always has to leap from the nest to see if it can fly. Anyway, ye have the feel of Sarah aching about ye, and no word, e'en o' mine, could take her once she had set her mind to something. Ye're no a woman yet, and that's no bad thing, because where ye'll be going is easy for children, hard for adults. The world of the Queen, ventured Tiffany, trying to keep up. Aye, I can feel it noo, lying over this one like a fog, as far away as the other side of a mirror. I'm weakening, Tiffin. I canna defend this place, so here is my bargain, child. I'll point ye towards the Queen, and, in return, ye'll tak over as Kelda. That surprised Fiona as much as Tiffany. Her head shot up sharply and her mouth opened, but the Kelda had raised a wrinkled hand. When ye are a Kelda somewhere, my girl, you'd expect people to do your bidding, so dinna give me the argument. That's my offer, Tiffin. You won't get a better. But she canna, Fiona began. Can she not? Said the Kelda. She's nae a pixie, mother. She's a bit on the large side, aye, said the Kelda. Dinna fret, Tiffin, it will only be for long. I just need ye to mind things for a wee while. Mind the land like your granny did, and mind my boys. Then, when your wee boy is back home, Hamish will fly up to the mountains and let it be known that the Chalk Hill clan has want a Kelda. We've got a good place here, and the girls will come flocking. What do you say? She doesn't know our ways, Fiona protested. You're overtired, mother. Aye, I am, said the Kelda. But a daughter canna run her mother's clan. Ye know that. You're a dutiful girl, Fiona, but it's time you were picking your own bodyguard and going away seeking a clan of your own. You canna stay here. Kelda looked up at Tiffany again. Will you, Tiffin? She held up a thumb the size of a match head and waited. What will I have to do? Said Tiffany. The thinking, said the Kelda, still holding up her thumb. My lads are good lads, there's none braver, but they think their heads is most useful as weapons. That's lads for ye. We Pixies aren't like you big folk, ye ken. Ye have many sisters. Fionn here has none. She's my only daughter. A Kelda might be blessed with only one daughter in her whole life, but she'll have hundreds and hundreds of sons. They are all your sons, said Tiffany aghast. Oh, aye, said the Kelda, smiling. Except for a few of my brothers who travelled here with me when I came to be Kelda. Oh, do not look so astonished. The bairns are really wee when they're born, like little peas in a pod, and they grow up fast, she sighed. But sometimes I think all the brains is saved for the daughters. They're good boys, but they're no great thinkers. You'll have to help them, help ye. But she can't carry out the duties of a Kelda, Fionn protested. I don't see why not, if they're explained to me, said Tiffany. Oh, do you not? Said Fionn sharply. Well, that's going to be most interesting. I recall Sarah Aiken talking about ye, said the Kelda. She said ye were a strange wee one, always watching and listening. She said ye had a head full of words that ye ne'er spoke aloud. She wondered what had become of ye. Time for ye to find out, aye? Aware of Fionn glaring at her, and maybe because of Fionn glaring at her, Tiffany licked her thumb and touched it gently against the Kelda's tiny thumb. It is done then, said the Kelda. She lay back suddenly, and just as suddenly seemed to shrink. There were more lines in her face now. Never let it be said I left my sons with you to Kelda to mind them, she muttered. Now I can go back to the last world. Tiffany's the Kelda for now, Fionn. In her house, you'll do what she says. Fionn looked down at her feet. Tiffany could see that she was angry. The Kelda sagged. She beckoned to Tiffany closer, and in a weaker voice said, There, 'tis done. And now for my part of the bargain. Listen. Find the place where the time disna fit. There's the way in. To shine out to ye. Bring him back to ease your poor mother's heart, and maybe also your own head. Her voice faltered, and Fionn leaned quickly towards the bed. The Kelda sniffed. She opened one eye. Not quite yet, she murmured to Fionn. Do I smell a wee drop of special sheep liniment on yous, Kelda? Tiffany looked puzzled for a moment, and then said, Oh, me? Yes, here. The Kelda struggled to sit up again. The best thing humans ever made, she said. I'll just have a large wee drop, Fionn. It puts hairs on your chest, Tiffany warned. Ack, weel, for a drop of Sarah Aiking's special sheep liniment, I'll risk a girl or two, said the old Kelda. She took from Fionn a leather cup about the size of a thimble and held it up. I didn't think it would be good for ye, mother, said Fionn. I'll be the judge of that this time, said the Kelda. One drop before I go, please, Kelda Tiffin. Tiffany tipped the bottle slightly. The Kelda shook the cup irritably. It was a larger drop I had in mind, Kelda, she said. A Kelda has a generous heart. She took something too small to be a gulp, but too large to be a sip. Aye, it's a long time since I tasted this brose, she said. Your granny and I used to have a sip or two in front of her fire on cold nights. Tiffany saw it clearly in her head. Granny Aiking and this little fat woman sitting around the pot-bellied stove in the hut on wheels, while the sheep grazed under the stars. Ah, you can see it, said the Kelda. I can feel your eyes on me. That's the first sight working. She lowered the cup. Fionn, go and fetch Rob anybody, and William the Gonical.